Let's get the record straight. We all love supercars. If you don't, you're on the wrong channel. They are literally the pinnacle of automotive performance, looks, sound. Everything that can be perfect in a car comes together to make a supercar. And at my ripe age of recently turning 21 years old, I've been incredibly blessed to drive quite a few supercars and sports cars to form my own opinions on these cars that I've driven. I recently made this video about social media and the car community, and I made this one very clear point. But when it comes to actually enjoyment of a car, how are you going to speak on if it's a good car or a bad car if you've never actually seen one or been in one? Essentially saying you can't say you hate or love a car if you've never been in it or driven that car. And that's what this whole video is about. The cars that I've been in and driven, and ranking them compared to what you might see online from other people saying it, even though they've never actually seen or been in those cars. And before I start breaking hearts in this video, I'm going to rank every car on the personal enjoyment, because for me, that's the most important metric in any car. Your personal enjoyment, how much you enjoy it yourself. So not about value for money, not about the horsepower or the quarter mile times, no. How much I enjoyed being in or driving that car. So that's how we're rating these cars. Anyways, we've got over 30 cars to do. So let's get right into it and head over to the laptop where I'm ranking all these cars. So I'm gonna bring you from over there and put you on the screen that I'm looking at right now and where I'll be ranking all these cars. As we can see down here, we've got all these different categories. Perfect, amazing, great, decent, mid, trash, and EV. They get their own category. Down here we can see the 30 cars I'll be ranking today. We're going to start off with a few lower level sports cars and work our way up to the supercars. Most importantly, we've got to start with the most important car on this whole list, my personal current BMW M4. So this goes straight into perfect up here and everything else can just go into trash. I'm joking. Let me not disrespect these cars. My car. Now this is probably the most controversial car I'll do on this list. I always talk about how much I love it. It's an amazing car. Where am I going to put it? Is it perfect? No. Is it trash? No. Let's put it in the middle. Is it decent? No, it's better than decent. It's great. It's a great car. I love it. There's definitely better out there though. We're going to go to my second car on this list. I've only got two cars that really qualify for a sports/supercar list. That's going to be my A45 that I used to own. I did enjoy it at the time. To be honest with you, I'm going to have to put it in mid though, because it's a cool car, but it's pretty boring once you own it. It doesn't really excite you after a month of ownership. It gets pretty boring. Next, I used to always bag this car back in the day, the Toyota 86. And here we've got the top of the line, GR86 GTS, the best car that they make. Trash. Next is a car that, in my opinion, is criminally underrated. The 4-litre Cayman GTS, but most importantly, with a manual transmission. This car right here is what the 86 is meant to be, but this flopped, whereas this is an amazing car. I love it. If I had the money, I would buy one. I'd get rid of the M4 and buy that car in a heartbeat. Following that, we've got an Audi RS3, but you might notice something. I've got one RS3 over here, but there's also another RS3 over here. Now this is the facelift, this is the pre-facelift. So where does the pre-facelift go? The same spot as the A45? Is it better? Is it worse? Because that's obviously the main competitor. At the time I owned my A45, I also drove a pre-facelift RS3. And after driving that RS3, I decided the A45 sucked in comparison. So it's not as good as my M4, I'll be honest, but it is a decent, actually, you know, I'm just going to edit this quickly. Decent/good. Because it is a good car. I wouldn't call it decent. It is a good car. Next is one of the most genuinely loved and appreciated BMWs of the modern time, the BMW F87 Competition. So this BMW M2, it's not a regular M2. This is the Competition, like I just said. Same engine that's in my M4, but in a small little car, so a lot more nimble. In my opinion, this is an amazing car. I love my M4, but the Competition M2 it's a better car all around, I'll be honest. Following that, we've got a car that is so loved on the internet, the Maserati Gran Turismo. This is the original 2007 Ferrari V8. A Ferrari is a great car, so it has to be high in the list. No, it isn't. It's not a great vehicle, I'll be 100% honest with you. The sound is immaculate. If we were rating it on sound, it'd be either amazing or perfect. Everything else was not great on that car. Like the only thing I liked was the sound, and I liked the flappy pedals. It was like straight out of a Ferrari. Everything else wasn't good. It wasn't comfortable. Looks, yeah, they looked alright, but the newer ones look good. The original ones, in my opinion, don't look the best. And yeah, the overall experience driving the car wasn't the best. So that's where I'm going to put it. And after that, we've got the G82 M4, the newer version of my car. Now, my car is more fun and more rowdy, I'll be honest. The G82 is a lot faster. That thing is ridiculously quick, stock. If you were to go back 20 years ago and you'd tell the people then that the new M3 goes 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds and on a stock motor can make over 700 horsepower, they would laugh at you and tell you you're crazy. I don't know whether to put it in amazing or great. It's kind of in the middle. It's better than my car, I'll admit, even though my car's more fun, I like it. But I'm gonna have to put it in great. I'm gonna have to. Ugh, don't kill me. Next, we've got something special. Now, this is a Subaru WRX, all right. But this one had a forged engine, stage 2, forged motor, internals, everything was done to it. It was a cool car. It was fun, it was loud, it did the whooshes, the bangs, did everything. But one thing that really annoyed me of this car, the gearing is so short. Like, I feel like by the time you get to 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour, you've already gone through 4 gears. It's literally, like, Jesus Christ. Especially with a manual, like, it's fun, you're banging through the gears, but you can't even get up to speed. Again, this car's kind of made for the togue and twisty roads where you don't need high speed, but it's a mid car. It was good. Not ideal. I wouldn't be super excited to drive it again. But one car I would be super excited to drive is this, the Aston Martin Vanquish S with a V12 in it. What a car this was. With a V12, of course, has to go to amazing. It was an amazing car overall. The sound, the experience, the quality of the car, the seats, the leather, it's just an amazing vehicle. And I'd recommend to anyone if they want to buy one. And look at the looks. Like, do you see this thing? It's one of the most beautiful cars ever made. Going back to Audi, we've got a RS7 Performance. This is one bad car. It is crazy. It's ridiculous that it's such a sleeper car, in my opinion. Like, this doesn't look like anything special to the regular person, but it is stupid fast. This thing was spinning all 4 tires on the drive from a roll. Stock car, like, mind-blowing. I have to put it in great. I don't think it's up to this level of amazing in enjoyment factor, because the Quattro, it's great, but then again, it is still a luxury sedan, so it's not as fun as these small sports cars, but it's still an amazing vehicle, no doubt about that. Next, we've got the BMW M6. I didn't really believe the hype the first time I drove it. I've driven it a few times. First time I drove it, I thought, you know what, my M4, it's a bit more fun, to be honest with you. Anyways, I took it for another drive, and another drive after that, and my opinion changed. The amount of power and torque this thing makes is insane. And frankly, it is probably one of the most dangerous M cars ever made, because it's the last of that M5, M6 generation where it was only rear-wheel drive. So in this car, you've got whatever it is, 600 horsepower, something like that, to the rear wheels. Like, it just destroys those tires, and if you're not paying attention, it will send you in a bad direction on the road. It's incredibly powerful, and I wouldn't turn traction control off if you're not ready for, you know, a crazy ride. With all that said, it is an amazing car. I loved it. I really did. Next, we've got Iron Man's car, the Audi R8. Now, this is the V10, the last of this shape, which I prefer over the new shape, looks-wise, personally. Amazing car, awesome. It's just a great experience being in it. Goes straight to amazing. Back to the AMG department, and we have got a Mercedes C43 AMG. AMG means amazingly bad. I didn't like this car. It doesn't do anything for me. For the money you're spending on it, there is literally like 10 other cars I could list off and pick before I went for a C43. Sorry, Merc fanboys. Like I said, nothing personal. Just my opinion. But hopefully I'll get back in your good books with this car, the Mercedes C63 507. 507 naturally aspirated horsepower from a 6.3 litre V8. That's great. That's just a great car. I just realised I've made a mistake. As we can tell, I wear glasses, but they must need to be recalibrated or something. This car here is a RS5, the V8 RS5. I made this whole deal about the RS7. This is the RS7 here. The RS5 itself, great car, amazing sounding V8. Performance didn't really excite me, especially when you compare it to the competitors of the time, like the C63 we just mentioned and the E90 M3. So it's a good car, not amazing or great. Now, a Ferrari. Of course, this has to go to great. It's not perfect and it's not amazing. The 488 GTB is a fast car. It's an awesome car. Now, I must say, I didn't drive this car, by the way, I was a passenger, but I don't know, the turbo sound ruined it. A Ferrari shouldn't have a turbo. Even though it's quick, it's fast, it's eye-catching, it's a red Ferrari. It just, I don't know, it didn't really give me that Ferrari feel like another Ferrari on this list. If you want to talk about the car that's shocked me the most in recent time, it's this right here, the Cayenne Turbo E Hybrid. This thing is unbelievable. I thought it was just another Cayenne, whatever, SUV. You know, it's a nice SUV, but what's there to expect? It's not the Turbo GT, the top of the line. But I'll let the numbers do the talking. 730 horsepower, and because it's a hybrid, if you want to, you're getting about 2 or 3 litres per 100. What? It is stupid fast. Literally, for an SUV, full-size SUV, it moves like a supercar. If I had to buy my partner a car for the family, it would be this car. No questions asked. In my opinion, this is an amazing SUV, and I don't see any reason why you shouldn't buy one if you can afford that price tag. Next, we've got another V8, the C63S, twin turbo, 4 litre, great car, has to go in the great category. Fun, awesome, just an overall enjoyable experience. I've said before I prefer the M4 over the C63, but in no way do I dislike the C63. Every time I get the drive on, I'm a very, very happy driver. Now we've got the fat version of that car, the GLC 63S. Great car, but if it wasn't for the sound, I don't think it'd be that special, to be honest. Comparing it to a GLC 43, if you had earplugs in, they're very similar. Yes, the 63 is faster by a second or whatever it is, a bit less. I'd probably put it at good. It's a good SUV, but there's better alternatives out there. Now, the facelift RS3. Faster car, newer interior, updated internals with the computers and the technology, the engine, all that stuff. But I'm going to rate it lower than the pre-facelift. In my opinion, the pre-facelift was a lot more brutal, a lot more raw. The sounds were a lot more aggressive, had the pops, bangs, everything. It was just, for a stock car, a lot more exciting to drive than the facelift RS3, even though the facelift's faster. Next, we've got the Audi e-tron. Now, I know I've got the EV category, but if that didn't exist, it would be lower than trash. It sucked. EV. Now the A45S, the newer version of my A45, a lot faster than my A45. This car, I'd put it at decent and good. Fast car, great car, but that's it. It's not too exciting apart from that. Now, the Porsche 991 GT3. In my opinion, everyone talks about the GT3 RS, which we've got coming up, but the GT3 is kind of more perfect than the 3RS. I won't lie, the 3RS is a better car, but the GT3 just makes more sense because you can actually use it on the road, whereas the 3RS is pretty much a track car. I know they're both very extreme cars, but the GT3 is just an amazing overall vehicle. If it was in my budget, I would be looking to buy this car next. It's not. Probably next would be something like an M5 or something of the sorts, but after that, when the money gets up a little bit, I'd honestly be looking at a 991 GT3. Incredible car, and they haven't felt that much of the inflation that the 3RS has because of social media and all that stuff. So I have to put it in the amazing category. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the first amazing car. Here we have a Porsche GT2 RS. Let me say, I didn't drive this car personally. I don't care I didn't drive it personally because the experience as a passenger was incredible. This thing is just unbelievably fast, and the handling is even more unbelievable. The hype is real on this car. Perfect motor vehicle. And we've got the first raging bull of the video, the Lamborghini Huracan. Now, I didn't drive this car either, and the reason for that was I was still in middle school because I drove it when this car came out. Well, didn't drive it, I was in this car when it first came out. As a kid who got picked up from school in a Lamborghini, I was very excited, and the experience was ultimately amazing. And that's the word we're going to use to describe it. It's an amazing car. Next, we've got the 991 Turbo S. This thing is just insanely fast. I don't get why they make cars this fast. Well, at least in Australia, what are you going to do with it? By the time you get through second gear, you're already going like 150 kilometers an hour. It's unbelievable. I just don't get it. It's so fast. I love this car. It's not as exciting. There's no drama to it like the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, but the performance beats all of them. So I'm going to put it in amazing, to be honest with you. I'm not going to put it in perfect, but it is damn close. Next, we've got the GT3 RS, the most hyped up car on the internet now. And this car, it is perfect, obviously. Personally, I prefer it over the GT2 RS. Huh? I know. Throw the tomatoes at me, get mad at me. But I think the naturally aspirated engine is more exciting to drive than the turbo engine. Yes, of course, the turbo engine's more fast and more crazy and more extreme, but there's no feeling that replicates a car revving all the way to 9,000 RPM. is just incredible. Now, I'm going to leave this car to last. Let me move this over. We've got the Ferrari 458 Italia. This is the definition of a Ferrari. This is why I put the GTB at great. This car is perfect. It is one of the staple Ferraris for a reason. When you say Ferrari, I'm pretty sure if you ask anyone, one of the three that come in their mind is the 458. It's one of the most iconic Ferraris ever, and it belongs in perfect. And finally, I've said it before, my literal dream car, like the pinnacle of dream cars, the Lamborghini Murcielago SV. My so-called dream car. But what was it like when I was actually in the car? Well, I made that full YouTube video about being in it. But I must be honest, after being in it, it has to go straight to perfect. The car is perfection. That's all I have to say. Stop, I'm not finished. I just realized I missed a car. The Porsche Taycan GTS. Now, it's a Porsche. Of course, it makes a lot of power. It's fast. It's an EV though. But can I put in a good rating? No, because it's an EV though. In my opinion, if I had to get an EV, it would be the Porsche Taycan. It's the best EV by miles, but it's still an EV. Yes, it was cool for the first hour, but in the second hour, I got bored. I was like, where's my V8 sound? Where's my pops? Where's my crackles? Where's my gears that I get to shift through? No. Boring. So let's see how many people I annoyed with this video. I apologise once again, I didn't mean to hurt any feelings. That's just my honest opinion from driving these cars. I want you guys to let me know down below, what are your thoughts? What would you swap over? What did I get incredibly wrong? And what should I adjust to make this list truly perfect? And also, if you have any cars that I haven't driven but you have, tell me what they are and where you think they belong on this list as well. I want to thank you all for watching another video. I haven't done a video like this in my bedroom for a while, but I thought I'd do something else. I appreciate you guys for tuning in for another video. I'll see you in a week's time, because remember, we post every single Tuesday. I appreciate you all. Please like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and I'll see you in a week's time. Peace out until then.